In this module, we're going to look at how to register trademark in Nigeria. And this is just to walk you through the entire process, just so you're in the know of what goes on, especially at Omolere and Omolere. One of the things that we find is that a client that knows makes a better client for us, really. And so we just want you to have an understanding of what it is we will do for you, and just so that you understand the process and all that goes in between there. So it's really an open book, and nothing is hidden or strange to you. So this is what the trademark process in Nigeria is like. It starts with the search. Like we discussed earlier in the course of this course or this section, we talked about how a search is crucial, and that is where we always begin. The essence of this stage is to be sure that the name that you intend to use is available for use and that it does not currently infringe on an existing trademark. So this is the first place to begin, and you don't want to play with this. And after this first stage, we then move, once we get a green light from here that we can proceed with the application. If we get a green light from here, that means that we can then move to the next stage, which is the application stage. And what happens here, we take your information and submit it at the Trademarks registry, after which the trademark will then examine it. So what is happening at this phase is that all your information, the class in which you want to register your trademark, the name of your trademark, whether it has a logo or not, and just everything that attaches to your mark is presented before the trademark registry. And it is at this phase that the trademark registry will issue what is called an acknowledgement letter, which doesn't mean so much. It only means that we have received your application, and that is what it means and nothing more. It doesn't mean that your application has been accepted. It doesn't mean that your application has been reviewed. It just means that you have submitted this application. We acknowledge that we receive your application, and we will look into it. Not we are looking into it, or we have looked into it. And after this is submitted to the trademark registry, then it moves to the next stage, which is the examination stage. So at the examination stage, the trademark office is going to examine your trademark just to be sure that it falls within the ambits of the law. For instance, your name is not too generic, like we talked about earlier. It doesn't really conflict with an existing trademark which may have been missed in the search stage. So the mark is just examined across all levels. And after this is done, it then moves to the acceptance stage. What happens here is that the Trademarks Registry issues an acceptance of your application. And this is the fourth stage of the process. At this stage, the Trademark Registry issues what is called the letter of acceptance. And if you recall earlier, we talked about not doing your registration, not abandoning your registration halfway. Now, the letter of acceptance that is issued by the registry is sufficient for maybe registration with NAFDAC, for instance, because it shows that, unlike the letter of acknowledgement that just says we have received your application, a letter of acceptance shows that your mark has been accepted by the registry, right? And this is where a number of people kind of stop their trademark application process, but you don't want to do that. That will not be you. And so after this acceptance stage, what the trademark registry is going to do then is publish, go into the publication phase, which is where they publish your trademark in the Trademarks journal. And why is this publication necessary? It's a process that is stipulated by law. So your name must be published in the journal to allow for public objections. So for instance, if a mark is claiming that it is too similar to theirs, or just whatever, really, just to allow for public objection. And that is what this publication phase is about. And after the timeline, and this is where it takes a long time, and sometimes as much as 12 to 18 months, really, the publication phase, because it's done annually. And if you are applying maybe when a recent one has just been done, that you'd have to wait until the next publication. And after the publication stage, your name has been published in a publication and there are no objection, then it moves to the final phase, which is your certificate stage. And until you get to the certificate stage, you are not done with the trademark process. So do not stop at the fourth stage of the letter of acceptance, even though that, suffices for some kind of registrations, maybe further registrations. Like, it just shows that you're already in the process of your application. But what a lot of people do, is that they then just abandon it there. But you want to get to the point of the certificate, when you obtain the certificate that then serves as proof that yes, that is your mark. And also you want to be sure that you use a trademark attorney that you trust to carry through or follow through with this entire process in your best interest. So, and what is the timeline for registration? Earlier in the previous slide, I talked about stages 1 to 4, the letter of acceptance stage. So from the search up to the letter of acceptance stage takes between 2 to 3 weeks at the max, really. And the stage 2, which is the publication up to the issue of certificate, can take as much as 18 months. Again, this is not something that we control, right? But from the phase of the search and up till the letter of acceptance takes place between 2 to 3 weeks. And at our law firm, really, at Omolere, we really don't charge you for the publication and issuance of certificate because we believe that it is in your best interest to only pay for what you'd receive, more promptly. And as soon as your name is out in the publication, then we'd reach out to you to then continue with the issuance of certificate. So the bill that will be sent to you if you decide to proceed with us will be for search up to acceptance. And so these are just samples of what the document looks like to help you understand what to expect. This is the acknowledgement. Remember, I talked about the acknowledgement being something that one of the first documents that you receive from the trademark registry that just means we acknowledge that you have submitted your application and nothing more. And then the acceptance, which is this one, that really shows, we have looked at your mark, we have accepted your mark, but now we're going to go ahead and publish it and see whether there will be any objections to your mark. And if there's no objection, we'll issue you your certificate. And this is what the certificate looks like. The duration of trademark at the first instance is for 7 years, and this is renewable up till infinity for now, according to the laws. So you have to always renew your mark to maintain it, renew it. And again, if this is done by a trademark attorney and maybe you have a form of retainership with them, then they will remind you when it's time to renew or maintain your trademark. So again, don't forget to renew your trademark. It's not a once you have it forever. It's not a marriage certificate. It's something that has to be renewed, or a birth certificate. It has to be renewed. Who wins the tug? CSC, business name. I think that we talked about this earlier, yeah? So, it's clear that with respect to trademarks, the trademark offers more protection than the protection, if any, given by CSC. It's not on the same level. But again, that's with respect to trademark. And that is just ideal. Trademark, you should offer more protection. You should offer trademark protection. Now that you know about the procedure for registering your trademark in Nigeria, we're going to move on to dealing with trademark infringements.